Man, see, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above. They really have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this white ass, need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that bygone. Boy, ass need to stop and ask you to drop. It's about to get serious. When they hit us with dope and kill us with crack, where the fuck with your leaders? I'm curious. He cashed out on your blood, traded you in and bought a new biz. Ask you the prophets, I tell you the scheme. If you don't wake up, you gon' die in your dreams. I say you won't tell you no more. I swear these crackers try to kill us slow. Just spoke to a nigga and fed he up for parole because of the COVID. It feel like the host in this world that don't go together. Know it's gold in the ghetto. I'm in the city blazing with my niggas. Just told the devil the score never settled. Yeah, see the prophets. I'm tired of these niggas keep talking about, you know, you respect my religion, I respect your religion. Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the prophets. You know, like we all come together. Because you know what I'm saying? They say God so loved the world. God so loved the world and boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the prophets. Don't give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. Hey, gentlemen, y'all, we don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up. You know what I'm saying? Boy, your ass need to stop and ask shit. Oh, I'm with step, I'm solid for show. To the fake niggas, stay silent, I got it, let's go. Let's go. I ain't taking no losses, ain't no talking when we got the flow. Ain't no peace, just play with your own. I'ma be loyal to the right arm. Tell them we can't keep me slate. And I can never let bygone be bygone. Got your baby mother on high, or got your baby pants through the fire. Ask you the prophets, that baby soul belong to the Lord. How dare you abort it? Devil will fail you, bitch, I can afford it. I prepare slaughter, you bring me my water. Push your leaders weak, let them lies slip through their teeth. Their ass need to stop and ask you the prophets.
That's just the reality, Christians. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings. I know your pastor lied to you every Sunday for 30 years, but that's what the church is for, lying. That's why they exist, to lie the money out of your pockets.
Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga.
All jokes aside, you know how niggas be like, I'm this and that for life, this and that for life. I'm on this for life, nigga. This a blood oath. Hey, yo, Mother Ra. Here go a class for you, my nigga. 140 for the rebel. The world turned its back on me. I'm a crippling. We got soldiers, he got soldiers, but I got different ones. Ain't no way out, I tell you once. Don't pray for nothing, sin and curse. We can't forgive what's forbidden. Remain in them trenches. Trust in the Lord, but please forgive me for the times that I did. If rank is given, have your respect to your apprentice. Be about your business. This loyalty's a death sentence. Look, trying to pick up with a blind fail. They said there'll be many mansions. I'm just grinding for my time share. Them devils ain't playing fair. They hunt you like bad pal, but ain't no getting out the game like Jumanji. You take that oath, it's a Dundee. They try to deal death to a priest. You won't make it out in one piece. So you can stand. Just make sure you got the heart. Say your name 3 times, then it's death do us part. So how you feel about this truth I done shown? This ain't the like you think, little nigga. I should want. Even your own people go disown. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on. Ain't no more guessing, ain't no more questions. Make sure my election till I'm tucked away like George Jetson. Murder for capital Nines, murder at the Capitol. The world in amazement, we like fuck 'em, raise it. I pity those watching life as it goes by. Be giving mercy in this life, I don't know why. In pump smoke, never try to. They dead at home, my brother be the dead soldado. In the photo, salute my nigga. Salute my nigga. They like, how you stay focused? I told them I'm motivated cause of you, my nigga. Brotherhoods and weapons, still got weapons on the scene. Now never do my niggas like Bishop did Raheem. Never mind in all beliefs, they under anesthesia. Shorty say she leave me, said she wanna let that love go. Told I let that love grow. But if I bring you to my bed, that's a blood oath. So, how you feel about this truth out of show? This ain't the life you think, little nigga. I should want. Even your own people gon' disown. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on. Yeah, yeah.
Shalom, 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 shalom.
Hey, shalom, Israel. I'm preaching also Yahusap Ya'Allah Bonaparium, right? Out of One West headquarters. Clap it up for the class. Today is Lord class. Lord
Yeah,
class.
that's
right. Yahweh Shim Yah Shabraka Thumb to the Akim, Yahweh Shema Thumb by Shim Yah Shah to all the Akwathium. Okay, y'all know how we do it. All right. Big ups to Priest and Officer Sha'al for letting me hold down the law class on his behalf. All right, give me a 1 if you're enjoying these God-fearing women of the scriptures series. All right, give me a 2 if you don't. All right, get your precept books out, get your swords out, get your apocryphas out, get your Bible dictionaries out. All right, we're gonna blow a particular ideology with women in Israel right out of the box. Okay. Like, share, and subscribe. All right. Like, share, and subscribe. Let me give some shout outs to the family here. All right, Sister Satar Banath, big ups to you. UPK Zariah Love, big ups to you.
To
All
Will
right.
Williams.
Labaya How Salaki, I missed one.
Yeah, to Will Williams. Shalom.
Oh, that's the Facebook. Salaki.
Mara Kapaf, what's going on, sis? Shalom. Lava Aya Howard, what's going on? Shalom. Adrian Johnson, shalom, sis. Where you at?
BX, stand up. The Bronx is growing. Most High in Christ. The Lord is bringing the Bronx up out the world, man. Give it up for yourself. All right. Any questions? Come on, Israel. Y'all got to give me some work, man. Y'all got to give me some work, man. Give me some questions, man. Make me work, man. All right. All right. So we're going to start out with the book of Malachi, right? The book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 6, Baba Kushal. All right. Please take notes. All right. Study to show yourself approved. Okay.
The book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 6. For I am the Lord.
For who?
I am the Lord.
No, you're Christian pastor.
I am the Lord.
No, that voice in your head.
I am the Lord.
Read on.
I change not.
He what?
I change not.
The Most High is the Lord, and he changes not. All right, that is a very key precept, right? He changes not. You can't wash down the Lord. You can't wash down these scriptures. All right. Bear with me, Israel. We have a plethora of sisters here tonight. All right. I need you to write these names down, write these precepts, right? Go over them on your own time. All right. The book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 6 states,
For I am the Lord, I change not.
He changed not, right? Who changed the truth of God into a lie? Okay. Salakius. Salakia. Put your phones on vibrate, Baba Kushal. All right. Salaki, so can you give me the New Testament, First Timothy's chapter 2? We can start at verse 11, Baba Kashaw.
First Timothy chapter 2, verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence.
Let the what?
Woman learn in silence.
So we just brought out that the Most High is Lord, right? And he changes not. And through the plethora of mighty men that he raised up as the prophets, right?
Plethora.
The plethora of prophets that we read about and these scriptures here, right? He states, let the what?
Let the woman learn in silence.
Read on.
With all subjection.
With all subjection, right? Some people learn by watching. Some people learn by asking questions. But he specifically, right, through Timothy, stated that let the woman learn in silence, right? Give me verse 12, Baba Kashaw.
First Timothy chapter 2, verse 12. But I suffer not a woman to teach.
All right. Now, when we read that, right, there are things a woman can teach, right? And when what is specifying here, right, is that a woman cannot teach these scriptures. Okay, that is the job of a priest. All right, that is a cut for your female pastors out there and whatever Christian denomination. Okay, you don't hear about no woman in the scriptures preaching or teaching these scriptures. Okay, is there more on that, sir?
Nor to usurp authority over the man.
To usurp authority over the man, right? Let's bring it up to the 21st century, right? The man is below. You know, this world, right? This wicked kingdom, right? They put the white man first, right? And then they put the woman over the man, right? They empower the woman over the man, right? And all things, right? Read on.
But to be in silence.
But to be in silence, right? I want to big up Captain Tazariak, right? Because you know, sitting down in this class, right, as a young man, he said that there's strength in the words of a woman, right? But in order to get that strength, right, the scriptures say what?
But to be in silence.
To be in silence. That there is also power in silence. In the streets, we call it silence is golden. Right? We can drop that, sir. We can drop that. I have point out something here in the scriptures. All right. Can you get me the definition of polygamy, Baba Kashaw?
Polygamy or polygyny?
Polygamy first, sir.
Khan.
The water, sir. I wanna bring this out, right? There's too many sisters to name. We'll name them according to their heads, right? I mean, in their husbands, okay?
Polygamy. Polygamy is the practice or custom of having more than one wife or husband at the same time.
Okay. The water. So can you give me polygyny? This is very important. Baba Kashaw, write this word down in its definition. some of these God-fearing women were in polygamous households, right? Some of them I've brought out in the previous 4 series, right? This nation, right? Abraham, right? Oh, Salakia. Jacob, right? Jacob had 4 wives, and he had 13 children with those 4 wives. He had 12 sons and 1 daughter. And the nation of Israel, the 12 tribes, right, were founded off of one man having 4 wives. See, but that goes over the heads of Akwathim, right? Some Akim. You can say that they're unlearned because they don't study, right? But you love the Lord, right? It goes more than following the law, statutes, and commandments. Man, you got to know your history. You got to know your roots. You got to know exactly what the Lord woke you up to. You got the definition of polygyny, sir?
Polygyny. Salakia. Polygyny, in which a man has more than one wife.
In which a man has more than one wife. And we're going to get into some of these men who practice this, right? This is completely within the law, right? There is no law against it, right? And furthermore, I would like to say that the school does not sell sisters, getting along with sister wives or whatever, We're not the Christian church here. This is the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge under Commandant General Yohana. All right, give me the book of Judges, Baruch Shaw. The book of Judges, chapter 12, verse 13. Right? We're going to get into a brother in the scriptures named Abdon, right?
12 and 13.
Khan.
Judges chapter 12, verse 13. And after him, Abdon, the son of Hillel, a Pirathonite, judged Israel.
All right, so this was a judge of Israel, right? This brother named Abdon, right? Give me verse 14, Baba Kushor.
Verse 14. And he had 40 sons.
How many sons?
40 sons.
Now, Akim, online, right? Salakia, is your phone on mute, sir? Sis? Put it on vibrate, Baba Kushor.
You can turn the music, whatever's speaking, you can just turn it off.
The water.
Not that phone, is the other phone. Okay.
The water, sis. So this brother, this judge of Israel named Abdon, right? He had 40 sons, right? 40 sons. Now, how many children can one woman bear? Salakia. Anyone? Can anyone answer online how many children can one sister bear? 3, 4, maybe 6, right? Most High in Christ. This brother Abdon, right? This judge Abdon, right? He had 40 sons. Read on.
Verse 14. And 30 nephews.
Read on.
Khan. that rode on 70 ass colts, and he judged Israel 8 years.
So for 8 years, Salaka says, can you turn that phone off, Baba Kishore?
Let me see. I hope he says.
No sweat.
That's okay.
We want our audience to be locked in. Okay, locked in. This is a very sensitive topic. All right. And the only ones, right, that have an issue with this is the unlearned. All right. So we're gonna bring you up to speed. We're gonna bring out why is it important to study, to show thyself approved, right? We have any the water. We have any questions online?
It's okay, sis. Don't worry. Read on.
La'a, sir.
Read it again.
La'a, sir. This is Abdon. Let me get 2 Chronicles, right? 2 Chronicles chapter 13, verse 21. All right, so we already know that Jacob had 4 wives.
Verse 13, chapter 13.
2 Chronicles chapter 13, verse 21. So this nation of Israel, right, was founded, right, through Jacob's 4 wives. Right, he had 12 sons, and them 12 sons became the progenitors, right, of the 12 tribes of Israel. We just covered a judge of Israel named Abdon who had 40 sons. All right, so you can just imagine how many wives he had. Okay, now we're going to read about another brother named Abijah. All right, you got what I want, sir?
2 Chronicles chapter 13, verse 21. But Abijah waxed mighty and married 14 wives and begot 22 sons and 16 daughters.
14 wives, right? All Israel, right? 14 wives. And he was very fruitful, right? Very fruitful. I myself am an Ephraimite, right? The blessing for Ephraim was to be fruitful, right? To bear many children. I myself have 8 children, okay? No shame at all, all right? So now, the problem, right? The problem is that, you know, women, they're never satisfied. And when I say women in the world. All right. Here we check what we say. We check our spirits. Okay. We're constantly in counsel. Okay. Locked in, fearing the Lord. All right. Some of these sisters I brought out did just that. Okay. Give me the book of Genesis, Baba Kishore. The book of Genesis, chapter 1. Salaka, chapter 16. Let's get into Abraham, right? Abraham, chapter 16, verse 1, Baba Kishore.
Genesis chapter 16, verse 1. Now Sarah, Abraham's wife, bare him no children, and she had an handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar.
Right? Now, we all know that the scriptures also state, right? Don't take their women, right? Don't mate with the heathen. Okay? No give wives to your sons from the other nations. Okay? But here in Abraham's time, right? He had an Egyptian for a wife, right? And Hagar was Ishmael's mom, right? Those wild men, disgusting Arabics, right? That's the nation. That's the nation of Ishmael, right? The Ishmaelites. Okay. Read on.
Verse 2. And Sarah said unto Abram, Behold now, the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarah.
And he hearkened unto the voice of his wife, right? Even though this was an Egyptian woman, right? This Israelite sister had no problem at all with her husband, right? Having what we call it here, tear fire, right? With another woman, right? Now, granted, she was barren, right? But the other Adoniam I brought out, right? Their wives wasn't barren, right? Can I get verse 3, Baba Kishore?
Verse 3. And Sarah, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife.
Here you go, man. Sex is marriage. Sex is marriage according to God. There is no law against multiple wives, right? Can drop that. Give me the.
Hold on. Before you continue, I also would like to point out that what this sister did was very sisterly.
Damn right.
What she did was all for the nation of her future people, because her husband, his seed was able to carry on, which brought forth Isaac, which brought forth Jacob, which brought forth all the tribes, sons and daughters of Israel. Sarah was willing to make that sacrifice so that way her husband can continue to bear seed.
Give it up for Sarai, man. All right. That is a God-fearing woman. All right. Y'all write these names of these sisters down, man. And y'all write these names of these brothers down also. Right? Give me the book of Genesis, chapter 16, verse 1, Baba Kishore. We just read that. Salakia. First Kings. All right, let's go into the time of the kings of Israel, right? First Kings, chapter 20, verse 1. Baba Kishore.
Come. First Kings, chapter 20, verse 1. And hold on. And Ben-Hadad, the king of Syria, gathered all his hosts together, and there were 32 kings with him, and horses and chariots, and he went up and besieged Samaria and warred against it.
Give me verse 2, Bob Kishore.
And he sent messengers to Ahab, king of Israel, into the city, and said unto him, Thus saith Ben-Hadad, Thy silver and thy gold is mine, thy wives also and thy children.
Salakia. So this is King Ahab, right? King of Israel at this time, right? And he said, Thy silver and thy gold is mine, thy wives and thy children, even the goodliest are mine, right? So some of Israel, when you read the scriptures, when you study the scriptures, some of Israel had wives through war. These are called the spoil. These are called the spoils of war. All right. Some were through dowries, you know, through other tribes, right? Y'all get the point. Give me the book of Esther, Baba Kishore. All right, Esther, I brought out. I didn't. The Lord did not have me touch base on Esther, right? Esther chapter 1 verse 9, Baba Kishore, right? We're going to read about another brother named Ahasuerus, right? Salakia. Ahasuerus, right?
Salakia, I'm going blind at this moment.
Salakia, my lord. You got to, is that the 1611? The water.
What chapter?
The book of Esther, chapter 1, verse 9, Baba Kishore.
Hold on a second. Error. Technical difficulties. Hold on 1 second.
Bear with us, Israel. There she go.
Yeah, I went blind
Nehemiah.
for a good like 46 seconds.
Chapter
Chapter 1.
Verse 9, Baba Kishore.
Khan.
Doing a great job, I don't want.
No sweat. You doing a great job.
The water, sir.
Esther, chapter 1, verse 9. Also, Vashti, the queen, made a feast for the women in the royal house, which belonged to King Ahasuerus.
Now, I'll read that again. So I think it went over everyone's consciousness, right?
And just to make sure, Ahasuerus is a heathen. So everyone, that no one gets confused. Ahasuerus is a heathen.
Concert.
Also, Vashti, the queen, made a feast for the women in the royal house, which belonged to King Ahasuerus.
Even the heathens practice polygamy. All right. But this Vashti queen, right? Was she a sister, sir?
Nope, she was a heathen.
She was a heathen. No sweat. We can drop that. Give me the book of First Chronicles. First Chronicles chapter 4, verse 5.
First Chronicles chapter 4, verse 5. And Ashur, the father of Tekoa, had 2 wives.
He had how many?
2 wives.
2 wives. 2 is better than 1, right? Read on.
Hela and Naara.
And Naara, hey man, I got a sister named Naara out there in the world, all right, in Connecticut, man. Lord be with her. All right. We can drop this, sir. Let's go down to give me the book of Daniel. The book of Daniel, chapter 5, verse 2. All right, being virtuous, right? That famous Proverbs, right? 31, right? It's also being able to deal with polygamy, right?
Whenever you're ready.
Concert.
Belshazzar, Daniel chapter 5, verse 2. Belshazzar, while he tasted the wine, commanded to bring the golden and silver vessels which his father Nebuchadnezzar had taken out of the temple, which was in Jerusalem.
Salaki, my lord. This Belshazzar, right? Was he a heathen? Now, Nebuchadnezzar is a key player in the scriptures also.
No answer so far.
No sweat. You can read on, sir.
That the king and his princes, his wives, and his concubines might drink therein.
Salakia. His wives and his concubines, right? His wives, right? It's, the Apostle Paul, right? He didn't have a wife. He was married to his work, right? I believe I like to say, my first wife is the truth. You know what I'm saying? The school comes first. The Lord's work comes first above any fleshly sister. That is my oath. Okay. Now, if the Lord so happens to give me a wife, then I can add that to my first wife because it came from the Most High. All right. Some Akim are blessed with 3 wives, 5 wives, 6 wives, right? So on and so forth. Some Akim only have 1 wife. Some have no wives, right? We can drop this, sir.
Come on.
Me, 1 Chronicles chapter 2, Baba Kishore. Caleb.
What verse?
Oh, Salaka. 18.
First Chronicles chapter 2, verse 18. And Caleb, the son of Hezron, begat children of Azubal, his wife, and of Jithroth. Her sons are these: Jesher, Shobab, and Ardon.
Give me verse 19, Baba Kishore.
Verse 19. And when Azubal was dead, Caleb took unto him Ephrath, which bare him Hur.
Can you drop down to verse 46, Baba Kishore?
And Ephah, Caleb's concubine, bare him Haran, and Moza, and Gaziz, and Haran beget Gaziz.
Give me verse 48, Baba Kishore.
Makkah, Caleb's concubine, bare him Sheber, and Tirhana.
We have concubines. We have multiple wives. Right, drop that. Give me 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel chapter 12, verse 24. All right. It's very important that we bring this out. Most of us are familiar with some familiar names. So 2 Samuel chapter 12, verse 24. Most of us are familiar with some of these brothers in the scriptures, right? Some of us are not familiar with many others, okay? You can read it when you got it.
Second Samuel chapter 12, verse 24. Sis, you had a question? Do you have to leave now, sis? Do you have to leave now? No sweat. It's 7:31. No problem, sis.
Most High Christ.
It's okay, sis. 2 Samuel chapter 12, verse 24. And David comforted Bathsheba, his wife, and went in unto her and lay with her. And she bare a son, and he called his name Solomon. And the Lord loved him.
And the Lord did what?
Loved him.
Right. His wife didn't hate him. Right. His second wife didn't hate him. Right now, Bathsheba, right? Bathsheba eventually became his wife, right? Bathsheba was Uriel's wife, right?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Uriel, I believe Uriel died, right? Uriel died, and Bathsheba became his wife, right? And they had a son, right? And his son's name was Solomon, right? Solomon had over 700 wives. How about that? Okay. He had wives not only of Israel, he had wives of other nations, right? He had concubines, right? And eventually, right, they turned away his heart from the Lord, right? That's why we don't marry outside of our nation, okay? They turned his heart. You can drop that, sir. Give me I want to touch base on the book of Acts, The book of Acts chapter 13 verse 22, Baba Kushal.
What chapter?
The book of Acts chapter 13 verse 22. All right, not once, right? Only in a Christian church, right? That disgusting, child molesting, white Jesus worshiping, pork eating, whatever you want to call it, right? Synagogue of Satan, right? They're against multiple wives, right? Some of our sisters are against multiple wives too. Whenever you got it, sir.
Acts chapter 13, verse 22. And when he had removed him, he raised up unto them David to be their king, to whom also he gave testimony and said,
Salaki.
I have...
You
What?
can drop that, sir.
Okay.
That was a side note, Salaki. But since give me the book of Genesis, Bokashaw. The book of Genesis, chapter 36, verse 11.
Say that again. Genesis what? 11?
36, verse 11.
36 and 11.
You know, some of these practices, right? These whorish and adulterous practices, right? It came from the other nations, right? Some of Israel adapted these disgusting sexual deviancies, okay? And it twinkles down until today, to this very, very day. We've been destroyed as a people, physically, mentally, emotionally, right? And Hosea 4:6 says we're destroyed for lack of knowledge, right? If you wasn't and you did study to show yourself approved, you can clearly see that within these scriptures, right, there is not one precept that says the Lord does not allow multiple wives. You just got to get over it. You got to get over it, man. Read it when you got it, Baba Kishore.
Genesis chapter 36, verse 11. And the sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zephho, Gatam, and Kenaz.
And Kenaz. Can you give me verse 12, Baba Kishore?
And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son.
Esau's son. Yes, that's the famous Esau, right? Esau and Jacob. Right, read on.
And she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. These were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife.
Esau's wife. Right? Esau had multiple wives. I brought one of his wives out. Right. I think in series 3, I believe. Series 3. I brought his wife out. We can drop that, sir. Give me 1 Samuel. Right. I also brought this brother out, right? Elkanah. Right. I brought him out last week. Right. 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 1. Elkanah also had 2 wives.
1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 1. Now there was a certain man of Ramathaim Zophim of Mount Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, the son of Jeroham, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Zuph, and Ephrathite.
Right. Give me verse 2, Baba Kishore.
And he had 2 wives.
He had how many wives?
2 wives.
The Lord blessed him with 2 wives. Read on.
The name of the one was Hannah, and the name of the other, Peninnah. I butchered that name.
Penina.
Peninnah. And Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children.
All right. So, a sister might argue that, she might feel that polygamy should only be tolerated if a sister, right, if one of the wives can't have children, which is absolutely false. Okay. Because all the other men, such as Solomon, Abdon, Abijah, Abraham, Ahab, all their wives could bear fruit, right? We can drop that, sir. Let's go back into Esau, right? Esau, Genesis chapter 26, verse 34, Baba Kushar.
Genesis 26 and 34. And Esau was 40 years old when he took to wife Judith, the daughter of Beri the Hittite, and Bashemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite.
Salaki, sir, can you read it from the top again?
Genesis 26 and 34. And Esau was 40 years old when he took to wife Judith, the daughter of Beri the Hittite, and Bashemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite.
Even Esau himself had two wives, man. Okay. And Judith was a sister I brought out, right? And the God-fearing Women of the Scripture series. Okay. Judith gave Esau no children. All right. Clap it up for Judith. All right. Judith did not give that devil no children. All right. Give me let's talk about Esdras, right? You can drop this, sir. Let's go to 1 Chronicles chapter 4, verse 17 through 18. All right. I wanna just clear the air here. Okay. If a brother chooses to have another wife, he can have one. It is completely lawful. All right. If a brother chooses to just have one wife, it is completely lawful. If a brother chooses to have no wife, it is completely lawful. Right? Genesis chapter 26, verse 34. Oh, Salaka. First Chronicles chapter 4, verse 17. Salakia.
First Chronicles 4 and 17. And the sons of Ezra were Jether, and Merid, and Epher, and Jalon, and she bare Miriam, and Shammai, and Shammai, and Ishbath, the father of Eshtemoa.
Verse 18, Baba Kushor.
And his wife Hehudiah bare Jared, the father of Gedor, and Heber, the father of Socho, and Jekuthiel, the father of Zanoah. And these are the sons of Bethiah, the daughter of Pharaoh, which Merid took.
All right. All through the scriptures, right? From the very beginning of time until the present moment, here in our captivity, right? Having multiple wives is lawful. Okay. We can drop that, sir. Let's go back to the judges, right? Let's bring out Gideon, right? Judges chapter 8, verse 30. You can read it when you got it, Baba Kushor.
Judges 8 and 30. And Gideon had 70 sons, his body begotten, for he had many wives.
He had how many wives?
Many wives.
And Salaki, what is a score according to the scripture, sir?
That's 20.
He had 3 score.
So that's 60?
3 score.
Alexa, what is 3 score?
I couldn't find any games.
Alexa, what is the amount 3 score?
I don't know that.
It's like I think a score is 20, right?
Alexa, how much is a score?
Score is an old word for the number 20. It is used in
Alexa, stop.
Well,
So
sorry,
three
sorry.
score is he had 60 and 10.
Six,
So that's 40.
and 10 sons. He had 3 score and 10 sons.
So 40 sons.
He had 40 sons also, just like Abdon, right? His body begotten, for he had many wives. Okay. Any more on that? We can drop that. Give me Psalms, right? This is another brother, right, that you don't hear about. Give me the 88th Psalm, Psalm 88, Baba Kishore. There's a little bit of history here, right? Since I keep saying that, multiple wives is lawful, right? The book of Psalms, right? This is a brother called He-Man, right? Not He-Man like the cartoon, right? This brother was a Levite,
The Heman.
right? Salak is her?
Isn't it Heman? No.
Oh, Salak, I was
Or
reading
Heman? Or
it. Khan Khan. The water. I was reading it.
I
And
have
the-
power.
in the
Yeah.
Khan in the English. All right, this brother, he was Samuel's grandson, right? And King David appointed him to be the chief musician, right? And he was also King David's seer, right?
Salakia, I was mistaken. Also, Yatazar corrected me. A score is 20, like we said, but I did the math wrong.
Khan.
Salakia.
It was-
So he had 3 times 20. That's 60. Plus 10 is 70.
plus
He had
10
70 sons.
He has 70 sons.
Yeah, I don't know why I said 40.
and,
Sorry.
and many wives. And he had many wives. All right. You can read it.
What verse? Verse 1?
So like, can you drop down? I have it in my notes as the whole chapter, right? This brother's name means faithful. All right. He had 14 sons and 3 daughters. This Levite priest right here. Okay. He was King David's seer.
Wrong chapter.
That's 88.
Yes.
No sweat. All right. Give me Judges chapter 12, verse 8 through 10, Baba Kishore. Shalaka Israel. Ebzon. Ebzon was also a judge of Israel. Right? He was the 9th judge of Israel. Right? Ebzon.
Ready?
Come on, sir.
Judges 12 and 8. And after him, Ebzon of Bethlehem judged Israel.
Verse 9, Baba Kishore.
And he had 30 sons.
He had how many
30
sons?
sons.
Read on.
And 30 daughters.
And 30, man, this brother has 60 kids, man. Read on.
whom he sent abroad, and took in 30 daughters from abroad for his sons. And he judged Israel 7 years.
Give me verse 10, Baba Kishore.
Then died Ibzan, and was buried at Bethlehem.
Most High in Christ. All right, we can drop that. Can you give me a children are heritage, Baba Kishore? All right, Israel. So you pretty much get the point here, right? Get this point here, right? Other mentions, right, are Issachar, right? Issachar had 4 sons, right? We brought out Jacob. Jacob had 4 wives. He had 13 children, 12 sons and a daughter, right? And you are an Israelite today through Jacob, right? His 12 sons are the progenitors of this nation, right? We have Jair, right? Hold Judges 10, verse 3 through 5, Baba Kushal, right? We have Joachim, Jehoram, Jehoram, Jeremiel, Joash, Lamech. Am I going too fast for y'all? Right? I acquired a list of about 37 brothers in the scriptures with multiple wives, right? You can read that psalm, sir.
Psalms chapter 127, verse 3. Lo, children are an heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is his reward.
And the what?
Fruit of the womb is his reward.
And the fruit of the womb is his reward. All right. So with all these multiple wives, right? Give me is it that same source? Is that same psalm, right? As in the right hand in the quiver.
I finally see what, but let's not leave here let's stay here for a second.
Look.
You know, this is very important because just to have a bunch of wives, you know, it means a lot more because you know, a man, if he really wants to, you know, and sin, he can just sleep with a bunch of women and not have to worry about their mouths, not have to worry about, you know, any headaches or problems, right? But when you get a wife, it's something more meaningful than that, because like it says here, you need a man, and a man needs a wife to get a heritage, right? And heritage is very meaningful word, right? When we look up the word heritage, heritage means property that is or may be inherited, an inheritance, a special or individual possession, an allotted portion, right? So when we talk about children, right? Children don't belong to the father or the mother. Children really do not belong to parents. If you have a son or you have a daughter, you should look at your daughter and realize that they don't belong to you. They do, you know. They came from your seed. They came out of your matrix. You carried them for 9 months. You raised them, and they're 5-year-old right now. You know, that's very meaningful. But it's more than that. Those children belong to the Lord. Those children are the property of the Lord that he has allowed you to watch for him, that he has allowed you to care for. The Lord has allowed you to have his children to grow and feed and nourish and teach to obey him, right? Then when we look at the word reward, right? Paste this real quick. We see that reward, right? A thing given in recognition of one's service, effort, or achievement. A fair return for good or bad behavior. A sum offered for a No, not that one. Make a gift of something to someone. Receive what one deserves, right? So a child is your reward. The child is the reward that the Lord gives you, right? And what you're supposed to do with that gift, which is that child, which belongs to the Lord, is to raise that child correctly.
Right.
And it's important that you teach these children these laws, statutes, and commandments. And as they get older, to stay on topic, it is important that a man understands that if he decides to have more than one woman, it is a responsibility For a woman, she has to be able to grow up and understand that a man can have more than one wife. And when they have children, it is a responsibility. That's it.
Most High in Christ. Give that priest a hand, man. Give Adawan, also a Shagapar a hand. All right. I'd like to answer Adrian Johnson, right? Adrian Johnson, Sister Adrian Johnson. Shalom Yahweh Shema Thamba Shem Yahshua. Big ups to you. She had a question where she is very curious as to what is the difference between wives and concubines.
All right.
Right. Some of these brothers had wives and concubines through spoils of war, right? Some were through dowries, right? Now bring out your Bible dictionary, right? Page 180, right? Concubine, right? In the Bible, not a paramour, but a woman lawfully united in marriage to a man in a relation inferior to that of the regular wife. No moral stigma was attached to being a concubine. All right. Don't get that confused with what they call in the world, right? A side piece. Okay. It was a natural part of a polygamous social system. Concubinage is assumed and provided for in the law of Moses. What they say across the line, headshot, right? It's completely within the law.
Headshot.
Right? Sister Adrian, I hope that answers your question.
Read it again, Baba Shah.
Khan. This is page 180 in the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary. The definition of concubine in the Bible, not a paramour, but a woman lawfully united in marriage to a man in a relation inferior to that of the regular wife. No moral stigma was attached to being a concubine.
If I may.
Sir.
So a concubine, the only difference between a concubine and a let's just say a regular wife, they're both your wives. The difference is that with a concubine, a man in Israel gets a concubine from going to war, right? So when we read about how David went to war with the tribe of Benjamin, there were women left over, right? Whatever man decided to take a woman and bring her to his home and let her mourn for the certain amount of period and ask her if she wants to be his woman, right? She has a choice to say no or to say yes. If she says yes, she would be a concubine because she has no man to go to ask permission to marry. She has no father, no uncle, no brother. There is no man in her life from her family to ask for her hand in marriage. So that is what a concubine is. Rather than a woman who you ask for marriage, you go to her father, her uncle, her brother, right? You go to the man above her and ask for her hand in marriage. So that is the big difference between a concubine and a wife. A concubine is a woman that you get through war, and a wife is you get by asking the father or the man over her.
It was a natural part of a polygamous social system, all right? And Israel is a polygamous social system, okay? Concubinage is assumed and provided for in the law of Moses. And it's completely, it's a little lengthy, right? If you want the precepts, just ask for them. We'll provide them. Okay, we can drop this, sir.
Say if a man use a woman modern day concubines girlfriend, right?
No such thing, sis.
Say if the man uses a woman and says, say the woman wants to procreate, right?
What?
Say this story happened to me. When I was 18, it was Jamaican man. He said, "Oh, I marry you. You can live with me. You're gonna have no." I told him I wanted to have a child. He didn't. So I went out there and told everybody, "No, I love you." Whatever.
Did you hold on? Did you sleep with that man?
Yeah, but he was calm.
Did you sleep? Did you sleep with that man?
Yeah, but he.
Hold on.
on.
Did you sleep with him?
Yeah, but he was.
No, stop. You. Did you sleep with him?
Yeah.
Yes. So then that was your husband.
He was
According to the Bible. According to the Bible, that's your husband. All right.
He refused to give me a child, and he went on. He put condoms on, and he made me lie. I said, "My baby don't lie. I'm left." He's get abusive. He put his fist up in the air and said, "Did your mother ever punch you?" I said, "No." I said, "What?" He says,
Are you trying to say that he was abusive to you?
"Yes." And then he stopped being with me altogether. He only did it 3 times. I didn't know what to do.
No sweat, sis. What the reason is that when we're living in the world and we're not obeying God's law, statutes, and commandments, we don't treat each other with love and respect like we're commanded to by God. So many of us grew up in situations, been in situations, our parents, people we know have been in similar situations, you know? And it's a good thing that you're here today, because in here you get to know how a man really should treat a woman, and you'll get to learn how a woman should learn how to treat and be towards her man. All right?
Right. Get it.
But since then, it's been over since that Jerry Springer and all, it's been over 400, 500 guys. It was
Okay, don't worry about that, sis. That's in the past. We're working on making you a better woman, making you a woman of God, okay?
Right.
Most High in Christ. Give this
Give
sister a
that
hand.
sister a hand, James.
Sister a
That's
hand.
right.
Perfect.
If a woman or person could make a betterment for themselves, guess what? It can make a betterment for whole society.
Well, if a woman and a man can obey God,
Right.
then it can make other men and women obey God too. It's a perfect example to get all of us to follow after God again.
Most High in Christ. All right.
Hold on one second. I want to ask this question. To Ahava Yahawada, you say Salakia. So a man can sleep with a woman without asking the father, and she will still be his wife? I don't know about you, but just talking to me personally, in the world, right? When I didn't obey these law, statutes, and commandments, I don't know about you, but I've slept with women and never asked their father. According to God, that would still be my wife. Now, if I'm speaking to a woman currently, if I choose to make this woman my wife and she has no father, and I sleep with her, she's my wife. If she does have a father, and I don't ask her father for her, she's still my wife. However, in the school, we follow order and protocol, so we ask permission from Commander General Yohana to be allowed to marry his daughters.
You have to pay a dowry. All right, these sisters ain't cheap.
These sisters are rubies inside the ISUPK.
Right.
Beyond rubies.
All right. Also, Kawak. All right. Shalom, Yahba, Shem Shabrak, a thumb. All right. Give it up for that brother. Okay. Sister Adrian Johnson, our Yondabar. All right. The water for participating. All right. Salaka.
No sweat, Ahava. Don't worry about it, brother.
Trooper Harya Allah. All right. Big ups to you. All right. Shalom, Yahba, Shimya Shabrak, Thumb, Kamisha Lipscomb. All right. Shalom, Yahweh, Shemar, Thumba, Shimya Shah. Big ups to you.
Salakia. Salakia. Harya, stop lying. You're not from the Bronx. You're from Harlem.
Hey, BX, stand up. Most High Christ. All right. So let me run back these names, okay? All right. I don't never want to talk. I don't never want to hear about you got an issue with multiple wives. All right. Love your husband. All right. Love your husband. If you got a problem in a polygamous household, love your husband. All right. Focus on him. All right. If you're a brother with 3 wives, it's 12 months in this pagan year, right? Divide that year between them 3 wives, man. Okay. All right. One of the greatest commandments was love each other. As Christ so had loved
raise
the
your
church.
hand, okay, sis?
All
Wait
right.
to be called on.
Go ahead, sis.
What about this person currently with you? What is that? Was the person who was 4 July 2020 was sharing with another
Salakia.
sharing with another man in the bed.
A what?
And yeah, then I found
Are you talking about someone having a threesome? That is unlawful.
That is sex.
they were doing that stuff in Far Rockaway, so I don't know.
But don't worry.
Kind of one day, and I found his blood related, so I didn't know.
Listen, don't worry about none of that.
They,
Forget about all of that.
they don't want that person.
Forget all of that. Remember, we're here to focus on you becoming better. We're not worried about what happened in the past. We use to learn lessons for the future. So we know that that's not right to do. We don't engage in sexual deviancy in here. We don't engage in threesomes, foursomes, quadruple sums, whatever you want to call it. It's a man sleeps with one woman, not a man sleeps with 2 women at the same time. All right. A woman with many men. That doesn't happen. All right.
Salakia, so can I get that? There should be no whores of the daughters of Israel.
Right.
All right. That was a. We don't do that. All right. When you read about Israel committing these perverted acts, right? They got destroyed. Right? You are here to shed yourself from the world. Right? That means you're giving up pork, shrimp, lobster, sexual immorality, right? Drug abuse, right? You're here to become a daughter of Zion, right? A God-fearing woman, all right? UPK Zariah Love, all right? Shalom Yahweh Shema Al Thamba Shem Yahushai. Big ups to you. Salakia out of one yum, if I may. But the concubines still need to be courted. Oh, shit. Or they could just get married. If answered already, I missed this. Salakia. No sweat, sis.
You got it?
Salakia, sir. I believe you said the concubines were
the
spoils
concubine
of war.
Yeah, the concubine is a result of war. Now, again, the concubine can decide to be with you or not. But, you know, by you taking her into your home, by you feeding her, providing her housing, you know, that kind of is like courting. You taking a woman out of the street and bringing her into your home and fixing her up and looking after her. But at the end of the day, it's both of your decision. Do you want to be together or not? Otherwise, she can be sent on her way and she can go live her life however she wants to live her life.
All right. You can read that when you got it, Baba Kishore.
Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 17. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel.
There should be no what?
No whores of the daughter of Israel.
You know what a whore is, right, sister? Right. Read on.
Nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel.
You know what a sodomite is? Do you know what a sodomite is? Most High in Christ. See, write that word down, sis. Right. Okay. A sodomite, right, is what the tribe of Banyamyam will call a bata boy. Right. We don't have no feminine bata boys in here. All right. That's also a commandment. A man should not lie with mankind as with womankind. That is out the door. So for the record, the Most High Power, right? He loves you having multiple wives. He condones it, right? What he doesn't condone is this: man on man, woman on woman, sexual orgies, right? We learned that that was forced upon us through these disgusting heathen nations. All right. Any more on that, sir?
La.
So you can't be a whore here. All right. And don't think that because a man chooses to have another woman that makes you a whore. No, you having sex with multiple men, right? With the ideology that, oh well, you can have more than one wife, but I can't have more than one man. Go, hey, Salakia, you know, that's for the other nations. All right, you're a daughter of Zion. The scriptures say in the book of the law that there should be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. All right, give me the book of Judges, Baba Kushar. All right, the book of Judges, chapter 10, verse 3. You can read it when you got it, Baba Kushar. If you need the names, right? Ayundabar says UPK Zariah Love. Ayundabar. Yes, sis.
Sis,
She
you
raised her
want
hands.
to wait till you're called on, okay?
I want to ask you a question. If, say, my sister Lee wants to do what's righteous and marry and be fruitful, multiply as Genesis, and all she gets is a person she doesn't know, is a player, wants to pimp, and just use condoms on her and doesn't.
Hold on, sis. Does the sister already have a man and she leaves him? Yes or no? Then she's not being righteous by leaving her husband. She's supposed to stay with her husband, become righteous, and that may allow that man either to leave her or he might follow after her and be righteous man himself.
Okay, so sister has a man that didn't marry, he get a marriage certificate, nothing.
Marriage certificates don't mean nothing. Sex is marriage according to God.
Right.
The moment a man sleeps with a woman, opens her legs, he lays down with a woman and goes inside her, that is marriage. The moment a woman and a man decide to engage in any type of sexual intimacy, that is marriage.
You're confusing marriage in the world with the marriage according to the Lord our power. Right?
So this person that's with me recently, that I have 4 miscarriages by, is that the husband now? I mean,
If this man, if that's the last person you have slept with, that is still your husband.
so he wants to cheat.
There's no such thing as a man cheating.
And that's another thing. A man,
Wait, hold on. Sis, you heard? There's no such thing as a man cheating.
Well, why would he go to crackhead prostitute? I don't understand.
Because he's an unrighteous man.
right?
Oh, so that's why he told him to go back to the shelter with his 20 women so he can get with them as well.
But there's no such thing as cheating according to the scriptures.
You're
This is sad. This is very sad.
you're here to get right. Right. The minute you get right, right, your demeanor, right, that spirit you possess can persuade that brother to come through these doors and get right also. All right. Now, let me tell you something. If you leave this brother, right, and you get married, right, whoever marries you commits adultery. That is also in the scriptures. Okay. We don't wear wedding rings in here. And of course, we're in captivity, right? That can be negotiated between both parties, right? But that wedding ring is also a heathen custom. It's an Egyptian heathen custom, right? They call it the love vein. There's a vein at the tip of this finger and goes straight to the heart, right? We don't wear that. We wear rings, but we don't.
Like, could you get like a community thing? This is not set ring on what I said. They get no ring, they get no earrings. I said it's material thing. You need the physical body to come to you on a daily basis. Person doing rap and stuff.
That's
I said, no, go make the ISUPK or something. It's straight. You know,
Salakia.
something. I can't be with a person that keeps drinking big bottles. That's sad.
Well,
All right, if that's
drunkenness.
if you think that his drinking is bad, right? And smoking weed is bad. Yeah, I agree. So what you should do is become a better person to influence him to change.
Right.
And it starts with you being in these seats every day, all right? Be the example that will cause him to change. All right?
That's 6 years younger than me. That's everything.
It's okay. If he's older or younger than you, it doesn't matter. Be the woman of God that will get him to change. All right. Go ahead.
Give me
Y'all.
a-
No,
no,
you
you
should
still have time.
don't leave your man because that's still your man. Then you will be committing a sin by leaving him.
Right.
Listen, I asked Brittany how you want to tell me some Atlantic Avenue on the show.
That's okay. Worry about becoming a better woman. All right.
Okay, so this will help. 'Cause
Yes.
Damn right.
Something told I had a dream before they said I need an exorcism before any child.
Yeah, dreams don't mean nothing. If you ever have a dream, speak to Joe Mahaim and he'll tell you if
Damn
your
right.
dream means something or if it doesn't mean anything. And 99% of the time, dreams mean nothing. All right.
Okay, but before having
Well, you're asking a lot of
Sis.
questions. Let's focus on the class here, okay?
Raise
All
your
right.
hand.
Hold on. Let's
One
focus on the
second.
class
Let's go
here.
back into the class.
Let's focus on the class. Go ahead, continue. What's up? He's gonna keep teaching. Hold your
Salaki
question, all
says,
right?
Give me the book of Judges, chapter 10,
Verse
verse
3.
3. The water, sir.
Judges chapter 10, verse 3. And after him arose Jair, a Gileadite, and judged Israel 22 years.
Oh, give me the next verse, Bo Kasho.
Verse 4. And he had 30 sons that rode on, we did this, I think we did this. And he had 30 sons that rode on 30 ass colts,
Oh, Salaki.
and they had 30 cities, which are called Hovarth Jair unto this day. We didn't go to this, by the way, which are in the land of Gilead.
Read the next verse, Bo Kasho.
Verse 5. And Jair died and was buried in Kaman.
All right, the water, sir. Now, this brother Jair, right? He was from the tribe of Manasseh, right? And Manasseh, and he had 30 sons. All right, you can look this up. I'm gonna give you the remainder of the names as we're pressed for time, right? Also, Parataza, Shalom, Yahabah, Shem Yahshabrakathum. Big ups to you. All right, priest. I'll get to your question in momentarily, right? So we have Jehoiakim, Jehoram, Jerahmeel, Joash, Lamech, Machir, right? Machir, Machir, right? We have Manasseh, right? We have Merid, we have Nahor, we have Rehoboam, we have Saul, Shaharaim, right? Spelled Shaharaim. We have Shemei, Shimei. We have Simeon. We have Terah. We have Zedekiah, right? And we have Zibai, Ziba. All right. So that's about like 34 brothers, right? Roughly 34 brothers in the scriptures with multiple wives. Sir.
You don't want to say brothers. There's 34 men in the scriptures that we can read about who had multiple wives. That proves that having multiple wives, it does not go against what God wants.
Right.
Some were brothers, some were heathens.
That's right. It's like we get also Parataza's question up on screen.
It's a comment. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah. Checking in from Yonkers. And Salaki, if I may, if your wife walk out on you and she don't come, is she still your wife? The water. Oh, that is a question. Practice, I gotta put question marks at the end of your questions, man.
All right. If your wife walk out on you and she don't come, I'm going to assume here something I do not like doing, meaning she don't come back home, right? If she don't come back, right? I've been around you long enough, and she don't come back, right? If your wife walk out on you and she don't come back, what some of these worldly pack their bags to the left, to the left, pack her shit to the left. All right, you are the head of house. All right, Salak, don't listen to me.
Well,
All right.
to answer the question more direct.
All right,
If your
so-
wife walks out on you and she don't come back,
let me get that, sir, Salak, sir. Let me get that. Let the unbeliever depart.
yes.
All right, that is a seasoned way to handle that, right? That's it. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 15. All right, so this is the answer to your question, priest. All right. We can start at 13. We just break it down for the Aquathium, right? So this is 1 Corinthians chapter 7,
Verse 12. But to the rest speak I, not the Lord. If any brother have a wife that believeth not,
if any brother has a what?
a wife that believeth not,
Read on.
and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away.
All right, so that's also a question for the sister here, right? I mean, Salaka, the answer to the question here, right? You know, that is still your husband, that is still your wife, whether they believe or not. All right, you don't treat them any different, right? Read on.
Verse 13. And the woman which have an husband that believeth not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him.
All right, there it goes both ways, right? Read on.
Verse 14. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife.
Is what?
The unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife.
Read on, sir.
And the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband.
All right, so it's important for you to walk in this truth. All right. It doesn't matter if your wife believes or not, right? You will know them by their fruits. You can win them over, all right, because they are sanctified, right, through your faith. Read on, sir.
Else were your children unclean, but now are they holy.
But now are they holy, meaning separate, right? Anointed, right? And this is the answer to your question, also Paratazar.
Verse 15. But if the unbelieving depart, let him depart.
Let who?
Let him depart.
Let him depart. All right? Let him depart. Kick rocks. No sweat. Right? Read on.
A brother or sister is not under bondage in such cases.
In such cases, man. So, you know, she's still your wife, whether she come back or don't come back. All right? She's not your wife if she commits adultery. All right? He's not your husband if he commits adultery. Right?
Slagia.
Read on. Slagia, sir.
He is still your wife if he commits adultery.
He is still your husband if he commits adultery.
Yes, because that had nothing to do with the wife leaving. If a man who already has a wife and he sleeps with another woman who already has a husband, he commits adultery, but that does not negate that he's the husband of that first woman. He just committed a sin.
Con, sir. Read on.
Verse 15. A brother or a sister is not under bondage in such cases, but God hath called us to peace.
All right. So also Paratazar. All right. Hope I helped you out there. Let me know if that answers your question, Baba Kishore. Any more questions online?
And Paratida, if she don't come back, forget about her.
Right.
There's many other women that may be willing to prove they deserve you.
Damn right. Any questions online? Any questions in the room? All right.
No one should be looking at porn, and no
Right.
one should be engaging in porn. That is whoredom.
All right, sis, is now 8:23. You can start preparing. I know you have to go. We can get that to you, no sweat. All right.
Because they working on me because I'm not learning enough. I need to learn how to zip the lip. I'm saying
Well,
No
you
sweat,
can practice
sis.
here on learning how to zip the lip.
Right. It's called practicing the horse bit. We opened up. We don't. Yeah, she don't come back. No sweat. I've been around you long enough, priest. All right. We started the class out with the woman learning in silence, right? And the Lord changes not. Okay, it's very, and the tongue is life and death. All right, you must be seasoned in your speech. All right, and the Most High Power commands the woman to learn in silence. Okay. All right, I got one more precept for you. All right. If there's no more questions online, or Yonderbar priest. All right. Hey, big ups to Osa Maikwaz, the Balawan, man. Big ups to you. All right. Shalom Yahaba, Shem Yah Shabraka Thumb. All right. Lord be with you. All right. Salaka, if I skipped over anyone, any Akim or Akwathium. Okay. Let me get this precept for you. All right.
excuse me, Sean. Can I ask another question, please?
Hold your point, sis. Salakia. Bear with me, Israel. Okay. The book of Exodus, right? The book of Exodus, chapter 21, verse 10. Okay. If he take him another wife, right? I thought I wasn't going to touch base on the topic. All right. If you require another segment to this part of the God-fearing women of the scriptures, right? Just comment in the comment section. Okay. If he take him another wife, right? Her food, her raiment, right? And her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. All right. Let's look up the word diminish. Okay. The word diminish, right? Make Salakia a tax whose purpose is to diminish spending, right? The trial has aged and diminished him, right? Meaning, let me give it to you how it was taught to me, right? If I have one wife, right? I have one wife, and I choose to get another wife, right? If I take myself another wife, it's like, can you put that precept on the screen, Baba Kishore, or the book of Exodus, chapter 21, verse 10?
The book of Exodus.
Khan.
Hold on one second. Chapter 21.
Khan, verse 10.
Verse 10. Hold on one second. Right. Verse 10. Okay, I got it right here for you.
Most High Christ.
All right, the book of Exodus, chapter 21, verse 10. If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish.
See, you still have to take care of that first wife. You have to take care of both your wives, your 3 wives, your 4 wives, your 40 wives. Okay, all right. Now, you just might love one wife more than you do the other. Okay, it happens. All right. You still have to provide for them. You still have to love them. You still have to take care of them. Okay, you still have to protect them.
Right.
Okay, and guess what, sisters? You still have to be his peace. All right, can I get that? Whosoever findeth a wife findeth a good thing, Baba Kishore. All right. You have to eventually, you become one flesh. All right. You want to keep these scriptures, man. You want to deal with these sisters according to the law. All right. Every jot, every tittle, okay, up until that sky crack open. All right. Some sisters, if you have a problem with the multiple wife, right, in the polygamous household, all right, seek counsel. All right. That's why the school has a counsel department. Okay. Anointed priests of the Lord. All right. And they will set you straight. All right. And for you brothers, right? For you brothers that have multiple wives, right? You can't like get into an argument, right? And threaten your wife with another wife, man. That is completely off. That is not within the spirit. That can destroy your household real quick, man. Right? The last thing a man of the Lord needs is two dragons going out it. We've seen enough of that in the world. All right. You want to keep the peace, right?
Ecclesiasticus 36:24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession.
Beginneth a what?
A possession.
Read on.
A help like unto himself.
A help. Right? Read on, sir.
And a pillar of rest.
A pillar of rest, man. You have sisters out there that, they get jealous. All right. That's a deadly sin, man. So check your spirit, man. All right. Check your spirit. Okay. He that begetteth a wife, right? Salaka, he that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, man. You got to raise that sister up, man. All right. We've been destroyed to the point where we can't even accept our own heritage according to the scriptures. Okay. We want to call ourselves the boss, call ourselves queens, thoughts. I mean, you got sisters out there in the world, right? Our own sisters, right? Black, so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American sisters, right? They out there in the world and they selling their bodies, right? They selling their bodies, right? And they might have
All over too. From the Dominican Republic to Puerto Rico to Haiti.
Right, and all the lands of our captivity, right? Within our own nation, but they're in the world, right? And they selling their bodies, right? Sometimes, some retire out of that lifestyle. They want to settle down, right? But then the man gets a wife, right? Gets another woman. Now they have a problem with it. You gotta check yourself, man. You got to shed yourself from this wicked kingdom, get into your heritage, right? Get locked into these scriptures, right? The Lord's statutes and commandments, all right? And keep multiplying this nation, man. It doesn't matter if the first wife is barren or not, all right? Or if she, you shouldn't focus on his second wife. You should focus on, your time with your husband because he's your head. He's your head. You understand? The Most High suffers not a woman. All right, don't go out there teaching your emotional baggage, all right, to the rest of these sisters in this nation, all right, or to anyone. Seek counsel, all right. So, like I said, we'd like to chime in.
Nope. Good job.
Most High Christ. Any questions? Any questions online? At the water, I want to thank the Akim and the Aquathium for, actually making me work tonight. All right, the water for chiming in. All right, asking questions. We love the participation. All right, this is like no other school except that righteousness reigns here. Warriors dwell here. Okay. All right. Shalom Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakathum to the Akim. Shalom Yahweh Shemal Alathum Ba'Shem Yahshua to all the Akwathium. And with that, I pass the class also to Priest Nosa of 1,000 or Shargapon.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.